Okay, good morning and Tashidelek. Today I'm going to teach you one poem, okay? And maybe this is the last poem in your textbook, okay? Yes, the name of the poem is A Legend of the Northland. This poem looks lengthy, but it's very simple, okay? Yes, it's easy for you to understand, okay? Why? Because it's just a simple story. Okay, yes. Now, A Legend of a Northland. This poem was written by an American poet named Phoebe Cary. Okay, yes. She was born in 1824 and she died in 1871. And this poem, A Legend of Northland, is a ballad. Okay, it's a type of a poem. Okay, yes. Now, what is a ballad? Ballad is a song narrating a story in short stanzas, and ballads are a part of a culture passed down orally from a generation to generation. We Tibetans have our own, what should I say, some stories, okay, which are passed down from generation to generation. Okay, yes. Now, these days, some of these oral stories are written in a book form. You can read. Okay, yes. And now let us, what should I say, try to look at some of the words in the title itself. A legend. What is a legend? Legend means an old traditional story. Okay, yes. It's not a modern story, a story which is passed down from generation to generation. Okay, now whose story? We are talking about a story, a legend of a Northland. Now, Northland means we don't have any specific land, but Northland is all the land, okay, that is around the North Pole or Arctic circle. Okay, yes, the places which are very far, okay, from the major land masses. Okay, so this is a legend of the Northland. Okay, yes. So without any further ado, let us go to the poem. Okay, yes. So I'm going to read this. You can pause the video and you can also read. I told you, loud reading, it's very important. Okay, yes. A Legend of the Northland by Phoebe Cary. Away, away in the Northland, where the hours of the day are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through, where they harness the swift reindeers to the sledges when it snows, and the children look like a bear's cubs in their funny, furry clothes. Okay, yes. So I told you A Legend of a Northland carries a story. Now, before we come to the story, the poet describes about the place. Okay, the poet, she talks about something about the place. Okay, away, away in the Northland. Okay, yes, far away. Okay, in the Northland means I told you the place is somewhere around the Arctic Circle or the North Pole. We have got Scotland, Greenland, Iceland, so many things. Okay, yes. Now, in such places, the hour of the day are very few. Okay, the days are very few. Okay, yes. So you can Google it and which is learn something about the polar areas, the countries, the nations in polar areas. Their days are very short. Okay, yes. And the nights are very long. Okay, the nights are so long that even if you sleep and you get up, you also see everything dark. Okay, the night is not over. So you see the nights it's so long that people cannot sleep properly. But here we can equally divide the day and night. But places in what should I say, Northland, okay, Arctic, yes, the nights are very long, okay, and the days are very short. Okay, yes. So such was the place of Northland. Not only that, okay, they harness the swift reindeers. Reindeer, it's a name of an animal that is found in a polar area, cold area. Okay, yes. So they harness men, they use the rope, okay, on the neck of that animal, and then these animals are swift. Swift means very fast, okay, and then they use these animals, the reindeer, to the sledges, and the sledges you can see, okay, yes. So these are means of transportation. Okay, yes. In the polar areas, we don't have the modern vehicles, okay, because they cannot work on the snow. So they use sledges to carry things. You have also seen this with the Christmas, okay? Yes, Santa Claus. Okay, so reindeer. And the children, they look like a bear's cub. Cub means small babies of a bear. Okay, why? Because their clothes, okay, their clothes are very funny. Why? Because their clothes are made of fur. Okay, why? It's very cold, so they cannot wear the light clothes. Okay, so the children in Northland, they are compared to the bear's cub. Okay, you see the simile. Okay, yes. Now this is just a description of the place. Let us go further. They tell them a curious story. I don't believe 'tis true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. And they tell them, they, who is they and who is them? So they means the elder generation. Elder generation tell them means younger generation. I told you the stories are passed down from generation to generation. So the elders, they used to tell the small children curious story. Okay, yes, the poet, she don't know whether this means it is, whether it is true or not. And yet you may learn a lesson, but that story has a lesson. Okay, yes. If I tell the tale to you, okay, now the poet will tell the tale means the story. Okay, yes. Now here is the story. Okay, yes. Once, when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it preaching, just as he did, he came to the door of a cottage in traveling round the earth where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth. Okay, yes. Now it's a story of a good Saint Peter, and Saint Peter is one of the apostle of Jesus Christ sent down to the earth. Okay, yes. And he lived in the world below, and he walked about and he was preaching. He was preaching, teaching religion. Okay, and just as he did, okay, that Saint Peter used to preach. Okay, yes. And now one day he came to the door of a cottage, a small house. Okay, while traveling here and there, and there was one little woman. What was she doing? She was making cakes. Okay, oh yes, and baking them on the hearth. She was baking the cake on the hearth means the fire. So you can see the picture of Saint Peter and the oven, okay, in which we bake cakes. Okay, yes. So Saint Peter came to the cottage of that little woman, and that woman was making cakes. Let us see. And being faint with fasting, for the day was almost done, he asked her from her store of cakes to give him a single one. Okay, yes. So you see, Saint Peter was going here and there. The day was almost done. He did not eat, he was hungry. And then what did he do? He asked that little woman for a cake. Okay, yes, to give him one cake. Okay, just a single one. And now let us see what would the little woman do. So she made a little cake, but as it baking lay, she looked at it and thought it seemed too large to give away. Okay, yes. And the little woman, she was ready to give cake to Saint Peter. I don't know whether she knew that person was really a Saint Peter or not. Okay, yes. Or she might have considered the person some ordinary, what should I say, person who was asking for some eatables. Okay, and then what did do? She started making not a big one, okay, just a little cake, okay, because she did not want to give it. Now, when the cake was ready, she looked at it and she thought that that cake was too large to give away. Okay, so you see, okay, if you've got a cake which is big, you don't feel like giving. Okay, you, even if you want to give, you want to give a small part. Okay, but that woman, she did not feel like giving. Why? Because the cake looked very big. Okay, so the big cake should not be given. Okay, yes. And now let us see. Therefore, she needed another. You see, now she did not want to give the first one, and she started making another one. Needed means, so when you make a bread, You need. Okay, yes. And she needed another. Now this time, do you think she will make a bigger one? No, much smaller, because the first one came out very big. Now this time she made a smaller one, but it looked, when she turned it over, as large as the first had done. So this time again, okay, even though she made a smaller one, but when the cake was ready, it was as large as the first one. Now, do you think she would give this? No, we know that she was a miser. Okay, she was not ready to give. She was not ready to share. Okay, yes. So let us see what. Okay, then she took a tiny scrap of dough. Now, the second one also came as large as the first one. Did she give? No, she did not feel like giving. Why? Because it was as big as the first one. Now, this is the third time. Okay, she took a tiny scrap of dough, a very small dough. Okay, yes, and rolled it flat and baked it thin as a wafer. But she could not part with that too. Okay, yes. Now, third time she took even smaller dough and then she rolled it and rolled it so that it became flat. Okay, and it became as thin as the wafer. You know wafer? Okay, the small thin layer. So it became thin like a wafer. So again, a simile, thin as a wafer. Then when the cake was ready, even what should I say? This time she could not part. She was not ready to, what should I say, part away from that cake. Okay. Otherwise, what is there? This is the third time she was doing. At least the third time, whether the cake was big or small. Okay, it's okay to give it, but she did not give. Okay, yes. On top of that, she started saying, okay, what did she say? Let us see. For she said, my cakes that seem too small when I eat of them myself, yet too large to give away. So she put them on the shelf. She was surprised. Whenever I eat my own cake, the cake looks so small. But when I start giving to others, the cake looks so large. So she could not part. She could not give. Okay, she was a miser, very stingy. Okay, yes. And what did she do? Instead of giving that cake to St. Peter, what did she do? She just put it on the shelf. And she did not give a single cake to the St. Peter. So that was that woman. Okay, yes. So if you were that woman, three times, okay, at least the last one, at least you can give, isn't it? What is there if you give? Somebody who really needs, okay, somebody who is hungry, okay, there isn't anything you will lose. But she did not give, okay, yes. Now, then good St. Peter grew angry, for he was hungry and faint, and surely such a woman was enough to provoke a scene. Okay, yes. So now this time St. Peter grew angry. Obviously, everybody, no matter how great you are, because you have been waiting there, okay? Oh, yes, for long, and you were not giving a single piece of a cake. And you see, St. Peter was hungry and he was about to faint because he was hungry and walking here and there teaching people. And such women, this little woman, she was enough to provoke a saint. Provoke means to make angry. And that person is not ordinary, he is a saint. Okay, a religious person who has got some power. So it is not good to make such great people angry. Okay, you should love to give because that person is preaching, helping others. You got it? So you have to take it as an opportunity. But that woman, she was very much, she did not want to part. She did not want to give anything to others. So let us see what would be the result. Okay? Yes. Now let us see. We know that the story has got some message. Okay? Yes. And he said, now this time St. Peter said, you are far too selfish to dwell in a human form, to have both food and shelter and a fire to keep you warm. Okay? And the St. Peter was very angry and he said, you are far too selfish. Selfish is okay for some extent, but you are beyond selfish. So you are too selfish and you are in a human form and it is not good to be that selfish. okay? And you have got both food and shelter. You have got everything you want. You have got food, you have got shelter, and you have got fire to warm yourself. So you have got everything. And then it's important for you to give. Okay, yes. So that is what Saint Peter said. You have got everything. You have got food, shelter, fire to keep you warm. Now you shall build as the birds do, and shall get you scanty food by boring and boring and boring all day in the hard, dry wood. Now we know that St. Peter was very angry and he wanted to teach this little woman a lesson. So what did he do? He just cursed. Okay, yes. And then St. Peter said that now you shall build as the birds do. Look at the birds. Okay, how do the birds build their house? Okay, yes. Look at the food of the birds. Okay, the food of the bird is very scanty. It's not easy for the birds to get their food. Okay, how do they get the food? They get the food by boring. So boring means digging. Okay, digging the food or digging the tree like this all day in the hard, dry wood. Okay, yes, yeah, they try to look for the food by digging the hard wood. Okay, yes. So can you name of the? Can you give me the name of the bird who, what should I say, looks for food by digging the tree whole day? Yes, any idea? Yes, that's a woodpecker. Yes. Okay, yes. Now let us see. Then up she went through the chimney, never speaking a word, and out of the top flew a woodpecker, for she was changed to a bird. Now that was the curse given by Saint Peter. And then up she went. Who is that she? That woman. Okay? She went through the chimney. So you can see the picture of this chimney, you know. So she was baking a cake, okay, and through that chimney, and she came out and never speaking a word, you know, and she cannot speak because she was already turned into a bird. You got it? And what kind of bird? A woodpecker. You see, you can look at the picture of the woodpecker. Okay, how does the woodpecker look like? That is how woodpecker look like. She has got a small hat, red hat, okay, cap on her hat. And then she used to dig the tree whole day, talk, 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 talk. It's not easy for the bird to find their food. Okay, so that was the punishment. Okay, yes, the woman. Okay, yes. She had a scarlet cap on her hat, and that was left the same. But all the rest of her clothes were burned, black as a coal in the flame. Okay, yes, she. Now, who is that she? She is the bird or the woman. Okay, that bird was actually a woman. Okay, she had a scarlet cap. Okay, if you look at the picture of that woodpecker, she has got a scarlet cap, okay, red cap on her hat. That was the only thing she had. Otherwise, all the rest of the clothes, her clothes were all burned down, okay, as black as a coal. So here you can also see a simile, as black as a coal in the flame. Okay, yes. So Saint Peter got so angry because that little woman was not ready to part away with her food. So Saint Peter cursed, and he converted that little woman into a woodpecker. That is the story. Okay, yes. And every country schoolboy has seen her in the wood, where she lives in the trees till this very day, boring and boring for food. Okay, even now, okay, the country school boys, okay, these small children have already seen her. Her means the woodpecker. Okay, who was that woodpecker actually? The little woman. So you see, okay, and in the woods, in the forest, okay, she lives in the trees till this day. Okay, you see woodpecker. Where do you see woodpecker? Woodpecker you see on the trees. What was the woodpecker doing? He was just plucking, tuck, 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 for food. So it's not easy for the woodpecker to find the food. You got it? So that was the punishment. So you see, this is the story passed on from generation to generation. So nowadays, small children, okay, the country school boys, when they see the woodpecker, the elder generation, they used to tell the small boys the story of that woodpecker. Okay, yes, uh, how the woodpecker came into being. Okay, woodpecker was actually a woman. Why that woman was converted into a woodpecker? Because she was very stingy, she was miser, she was not ready to share, she was very selfish. Now because of that, she was converted into a woodpecker. So that is the message, you see. So it's a very lovely poem, okay, which also carries a story, not just a story but an important message. So what did you learn from this story? Yes, it's not important for you to be selfish. Please don't be selfish. You should be fortunate to have clothes, food, okay, a fire to keep you warm. You've got everything, okay. Now, when you are blessed with all these things, so it's important for you to share with others who are less fortunate, who don't have any things, okay. Otherwise, next time, okay, your food may become very scanty, just like the woodpecker, just like the birds, okay. They have to keep on what should I say, plucking the food, okay. Yes, right now we are blessed with everything. We have got so many things. Whatever we want, we have. So you should be lucky, and you should start helping others who are poor and who need your help. Okay, yes. The second thing, uh, if the little woman knew that the person who came to her, what should I say, house was Saint Peter, a great saint, then do you think that little woman will refuse to give the food? I think little woman will give food. Why? Because that person was a holy person, okay, saint, okay. But, okay, she did not give. Why? Because she thought that that person was just any other ordinary person who was asking for food. Okay, yes. So we should not do like this. Whenever we come across any poor people, anybody who needs help, okay, who knows? He may be a God. Okay, God may have come in this person's form. Okay, so whenever you come across any beggar like this, please, okay, start giving something. Okay, it's very important, because the God may come in any form. Okay, God will not come, okay, I am God, so give me. If God comes like this, then nobody will reject, everybody will rush to give. Okay, but for ordinary people, okay, we hesitate to give. Okay, yes. So you should not be selfish. Whatever you have, you just share with others. Okay, help others as much as you can. Otherwise, you may also be converted into a bird. Okay? Yes. So thank you. And if you have got textbook with you, I want you to do all the exercises. Okay? Yes. And I'll be giving one exercise related to the literary device. I told you in a poem we will come across different literary device. So as far as this poem, The Legend of the Northland, is concerned, there are some literary devices like rhyming verse, alliteration, simile. Okay, these are some of the literary devices that you find in this poem. I will give you this exercise. Okay, yes. So you just go through this poem, you just try to read. I told you the importance of reading loudly. Okay, always do loud reading. It will help you in reading, and it will also help you in spoken English. Okay, so I see you in the next video lesson. Till then, take care and bye-bye.